One more thing. Masai Ujiri, now the Dallas Mavericks team president and alternate governor. I got the guy that covered him in Toronto to tell us exactly who is a Masai guy, why he got fired, and all kinds of things. Let's go. And welcome. You're still locked on to the Dallas Mavericks, your team every day. My name is Nick Angstadt. Today's episode brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, you can bet just $5. If you win, you get $150 in bonus bets. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. I'm joined by Sean Woodley from Locked On Raptors to talk about Masai Ujiri, because what timing for us to learn about Masai Ujiri getting hired. Then we were on the plane on the way to an undisclosed location in Utah. If you could find us, you win a prize, I guess. Does
somebody know the rock feature behind us? Just stuff by heart?
There were several guesses yesterday on the YouTube channel, and they were both wrong. So they said some other place, and that place is like 5 hours away from
well, don't narrow it down too much.
But that was my point. Is if they could find us, then you win a prize. Like that'd be incredible. If you could find by just this rock formation, this green screen behind us, you win.
And congrats on your new job with the National Geological Service.
That's why we're here. Yeah. We're trying to we're mapping all the rocks.
Yes.
Sean Woodley,
Masai Ujiri,
host Locked On Raptors. How long have you been covering the Raptors?
10 years? 11 years? Too long. Most of the time, Masai Ujiri was with the Raptors.
Wrote a book that I own on the Raptors championship run.
Thank you for the patronage.
Incredible work. And so I thought nobody better to talk about. And it just so happens we were in the same
No one better or no one more
place.
convenient?
There was a convenience level. There's a convenience level for this guest booking, but the intern did a good job. Got you on. Tell me about Masai Ujiri. What he built in Toronto, I think, was impressive. I think the run to the championship, the bet on Kawhi. When you look back at that run, and especially that team, like what is the mark that Masai made on that team and that group?
I mean, I think the thing is, before Masai got there in 2013, the Raptors were like the biggest joke that there was. They were a franchise that frankly just was like never realistically going to win a championship. I had kind of resigned myself to that fact. And even after he showed up, it was like, oh, cool, fun basketball. They're winning games. This is never going to go anywhere like real because it's the Toronto Raptors.
Did you feel at the level of the Sacramento Kings, or was there still like a...
not quite as like sad and depressed, just more boring and kind of irrelevant. But yeah, like it was a franchise in a league where not every team is ever going to win a championship, right? Like it goes to a select few franchises a decade, and never thought the Raptors would be one of those. And then Masai just kind of came in and switched the culture. He really invested in like the grassroots around the team. He was instrumental in launching the Raptors 905, which became such a developmental hotbed for Pascal Siakam, Fred VanVleet, Norman Powell, on down the line. There. Like he put a ton of money into that. Frankly, it was like the Bruno Caboclo pick that forced him to have a G League team because he wasn't quite ready. Look, he doesn't hit every pick.
Would Bruno have been 1 year away from being 2 years away if they had the 905?
He's 6 years past being ready. I think that's where we're at now. Had a great
It's like the one miss in the 20s he's had, though.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, that was entirely a thing, too, where he desperately wanted Giannis and just couldn't trade up to get him, couldn't find a way to land him, and so he found, well, who's another guy with grainy footage with long arms that I could try to bet on, and didn't quite work out, but
the wrong grainy footage guy.
Yeah, but like, again, he changed the culture entirely, and I think the thing that sort of stands out to me most was his whole thing was just like, yeah, we're going to win here, believe in it. And Toronto Raptors fans, they're in their heads, there's an inferiority complex there because they're the only Canadian team and no one cares about them, no one watches them, no one puts them on ESPN. And Raptors fans kind of let themselves believe that, we're just always going to be a doormat franchise, and maybe that's fine. And he came in and said, no, we're going to win. And he has like a quote, I think from the Kawhi Leonard press conference after the trade, or like the media day press conference where...
The laughing one?
That was that. Yeah, sort of that's the main quote from that. But he also had a quote where I think he was asked about Kawhi being a pending free agent. We know how that all worked out, but there was still some hope, I think, that the Raptors could convince him to stay. And his whole thing was like, just like believe in your city, believe in yourself. We're the Raptors. We're good. Like, we can do this. And he was the kind of guy who, like, every time he spoke, you kind of want to run through a wall for him. And I think Mavs fans kind of figured that out during his introductory press conference too. Like, he's just like a dude who's got a lot of gravitas. He really kind of owns the room. And I think if a franchise is willing to give him the keys to just be the guy, make the decisions, be the figurehead of the franchise, that's where Masai Ujiri is going to thrive.
That's the culture thing, and then the just taking over the, all right, hey, we went through this ridiculous thing with this trade, and now his point in the press conference was, we need to move on. Like let's move forward. Yes, this is a thing that happened. Luka will always be a Maverick, which is the first time that somebody has really like said that publicly from the Mavericks, like somebody that's employed by them, which is wild. But the fact that he said that, and then it's like, hey, we may be like a laughingstock now because of this trade, and then they had to put their tail between their legs and trade Anthony Davis and clear up all that space and everything. But hey, we're gonna be back in this, and I want to invest in people that think about winning and be about winning. That was another thing that he said. Yeah. The culture part is fascinating to me. Yeah. That what was it about the like all those guys he was able to put together in that 2019? We were just talking about this, how crazy that 2019 team was. Like Norm Powell was on that team. OG Anunoby didn't even play in that
missed
run.
the entire playoffs after an appendectomy gone wrong. Yeah.
Pascal Siakam. Was it the investment in that 905, or was there something specific about Masai? He was able to nail some of those picks.
It was mixed a few things. Like, really good drafter. I think like when it came to the types of guys he drafted, I think he kind of got pigeonholed as, he only takes long, athletic guys who can't shoot.
Yeah,
and like
a Masai guy.
To a degree, that's true. But I also think the main sort of through line of guys that Masai valued was like guys who work. Like this was a guy who saw DeMar DeRozan turn himself into a multi-time All-Star, All-NBA player just because he worked. Norman Powell was like notorious for just being the hardest worker in the gym late. Kyle Lowry, the same thing. Pascal Siakam, the same thing on down the line. And I think like the underrated part of Masai's drafting strategy is like the stuff that we don't know, right? It's stuff that goes on in interviews, things that you can't see on workout days and things like that. That's the stuff that he really valued. Like he valued the people he was drafting more than like the skill set or the just like the pure tools, right? I think there was like a lot that went into it, and he drafted good dudes and dudes who were willing to work hard and kind of better themselves and who believed that they could improve. And then you kind of throw into that, he was just very bold, right? Not afraid to make decisions. We obviously know the Kawhi Leonard trade, but like even before that, you have after that, the Marc Gasol trade. That was like a pretty one. Like that was a ballsy move to be like, hey, Jonas Valanciunas, you've been part of this core for this whole, like you're having your best season ever, by the way. You've been part of this core for the last 6-7 years. We just need to move on from you and get like a true like rim protecting anchor of a center. So we're going to trade you and some stuff to get Marc Gasol at the deadline. Maybe deadline moves don't always work out the way we think they will, but it's going to work for us, and it did. And I think like it's the opportunism, it's the being bold, it's being aggressive, and I think it's just the kind of always being. I said it. I put the cart before the horse. The opportunism, I think, is a really big thing, right? Where he just like always is looking to improve, and maybe it's going to come in an unorthodox way. Maybe it's not in the sort of manner you'd think that. Oh, well, this team's supposed to be rebuilding, so they're supposed to do this, or this team's supposed to be in this phase, so they're supposed to do this. He's just looking for good players, and any way he can acquire them, he's going to go about trying to do that.
The moment where he said F Brooklyn
was pretty cool stuff.
What was that like as a fan?
It was great. The Raptors were good for the first time in forever. This was one of the best days of my life. They lost game 1. It was a hilarious day. That was the game where the shot clock broke, and Herbie Kuhn, the PA announcer in Toronto, had to yell horn after at the end of the shot clock. It was a big day in Toronto Raptors history. You got the F Brooklyn, you got the horn thing, and you had a game 1 loss, which started a string of many game 1 losses in the Masai era.
Interesting.
Not through his fault, I don't think. Maybe. I don't know. We'll talk about when the Mavs have some game 1s eventually.
Yeah. We'll see. That whole run, and that him winning the press conference, I think, is another thing people have talked about a lot. But
the man can speak. The man's an orator. The man is like,
I said after the press conference, going from Nico Harrison as a communicator to Masai Ujiri as a communicator is maybe the biggest upgrade in sports in the last calendar years. Coming up, let's get into why Masai was fired in Toronto, was let go, the downfall. I keep hearing the downfall of the last 5 years, the decisions he made. Let's get the real scoop on it. Come on. Today's episode brought to you by DoorDash. Postseason is heating up. DoorDash is a way to keep fans in their bag the whole way through. Whether you're watching the highlights, the tunnel fits, or your favorite player, DoorDash makes the entire season more fun. Just take a second, scroll. That moment where you're just like, I gotta have this. DoorDash can get that to you. Every player has their bag, and with DoorDash, fans have one too. DoorDash keeps your snacks stocked, your gear fresh, and your watch party vibes absolutely on point, because you can't be the person that shows up with nothing, right? You can't just be that guy that doesn't have anything. You can get something delivered with you. Those late night interviews hit. Suddenly you need chips at midnight. DoorDash is built for exactly that. They can get you anything you want delivered straight, and it's not just food. They have all kinds of stuff that they can get delivered straight to you. And DoorDash makes sure that you show up prepared with snacks, cups, even a phone charger for that friend that's always stuck at 2%. From tip-off to overtime, stay in your bag and order on DoorDash. Get snacks, drinks, gear, whatever gets you through the season, delivered right to your door. DoorDash, in your bag all season long. Also brought to you by Game Time. Game Time. There's nothing like playoff basketball. Maybe we'll experience it again someday. The intensity, the crowd, the rivalry, it's a completely different experience when you're in the building. The playoffs are where unforgettable moments happen. We've had so many of them, but there's also great things happening in DFW all over the place on Game Time. So download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDON. You get $20 off your first purchase to go see the Dallas Wings, to go see a concert, to go see all kinds of different things. Go check it out on Game Time. And the thing I love about Game Time is I know exactly what I'm going to pay up front. I don't have to worry about fees surprising me at the very end. I don't have to worry about am I going to be able to see from my seat? Do I have an obstructed view or something like that? I know because I see the view from my seat. And they have this thing called zone deals. If you're trying to save, pick the section, Game Time picks the seat, and you still get a great deal. They also have the lowest price guarantee and ticket coverage, so you can feel confident every time you're buying tickets. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create this account, use the code LOCKEDON, LOCKEDON, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code LOCKEDON for $20 off at Game Time.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
Thanks for hanging out with us on Locked On Mavs, being part of the show, part of the Raccoon Squad, listening every day. Appreciate you for checking out Locked On Raptors.
Yeah, do it.
What are you guys talking about?
The offseason now. Brandon Ingram, what's the deal?
Talk about Colin Murray Boyles more.
Colin Murray Boyles, why is he so strong? So we're going to do a whole week on his muscles. It's going to be great.
Another draft pick of Masai Ujiri's, which is kind of a...
He was the parting gift. Here's another big toolsy wing who can't shoot. Enjoy. And I'm enjoying.
So you don't think the Masai guy thing is a real...
I think there's an element to it. I think he values the whole Vision 6'9" thing, which, by the way, I coined for anyone out there who's saying someone else did.
Vision 6'9"?
Vision 6'9", where, I think...
You don't want to say Vision 69?
You haven't seen it written on a page. But...
Have I seen it in action?
This is not the state for this kind of talk. Nick, come on. What was the question?
A Masai guy, is it a misconception that
no,
Masai guy, he only likes certain types of guys?
No,
you only can play if you play defense or you got long arms.
I think he's looking for two-way players who can play modern basketball, and I think he was kind of it's not novel. He's looking for guys who can be good at basketball, and ultimately guys who are big and strong and athletic are typically good at an inside track on being good at basketball. But again, he's not just taking toolsy wing types. Back in the draft in 2016 when he took Pascal Siakam, I'm sitting there going, how are you not taking Deontay Davis? This guy dunks so hard. But he didn't have the stuff going on behind the ears that
2016
Pascal Siakam did.
Locked On Raptors had just started.
It was a scene, yeah. But yeah, no, that's the thing with Masai is it's not just that he's looking for those toolsy guys. He's looking for the stuff beyond that. But I think he gets a lot of crap for what happened in the post-title era.
Yeah.
And the sort of, they build the whole plan out of 6'9" guys who can't shoot. I think he was kind of onto something. The league is skewing bigger.
Yeah.
Look at the playoffs. It's big athletic wings. Scotty Barnes, another one of them. It's I got to get the Scotty Barnes propaganda in there, baby. He's so good.
I'm for it.
Yeah, but he was not wrong. He might have been early. And I think he kind of undervalued. Yes, you got to have all the big guys, but also you have to have the requisite skills to play functional basketball, which that team didn't really have. They didn't have really guard play. They didn't have any center play. It was just all right, a bunch of crazy dudes, go offensive rebound and defend and see what happens. And they got to the playoffs in 1 year, and then some sort of locker room dynamic stuff I think was a big downfall of that team as well. But yeah, I think that he's not wrong to go after that kind of player. And so maybe it is something he'll also target Jacoby Walter or Grady. He drafted Grady Dick, the furthest thing from a toolsy athletic wing you could possibly conjure. So I don't think he's pigeonholed into drafting one type of guy. I think that's kind of the way to put it.
Yeah, Dick kind of one-dimensional.
I'm not going to talk to you anymore.
When Masai was fired, what led to that? What do you think were the order of events that kind of led to? We've talked a little bit about the the ownership group, and there was that story from Eric Kareen where the one person in the ownership group loved Masai, the other person in the ownership group didn't. Walk us through how it came to be.
So there's on court and front office decision making stuff, and then there's the sort of ownership drama. We'll start with the ownership drama. After they won the championship, Masai obviously wanted to get paid. And there was like kind of a bit of a war, not with the sort of principal owner at the time, Larry Tannenbaum, but with Ed Rogers, who is the foremost fail son that Canada has to offer, who is the head of Rogers Media, which is one of the companies, the major telecom companies that owns Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment. There was conflict there. Ed Rogers didn't think Masai was worth what he wanted. Ultimately, Larry Tannenbaum, who was a big Masai champion, got his way. Over the last few years, it's been kind of a transition as one of the other telecoms, Bell, has kind of been bought out, and Larry Tannenbaum, who was like the majority owner, he has moved on to his own thing. He's now owning the Toronto Tempo, for example, and a couple of soccer teams.
Which is why Masai was there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Masai is a principal owner of the Toronto Tempo as well, still. And so,
which is cool.
The Tannenbaum Ujiri thing, they were very tight. Ed Rogers is a very spiteful man, and when he got control of the team last summer, it's very clear that he was just like, all right, we're moving on from this guy who simply just has more sauce than me, and I don't like it. If we're being real, I'm pretty sure that's just kind of what it boils down to.
I mean, that those dynamics, we're very aware of those dynamics with the last GM the Mavericks just had.
Yeah, and so I think it was a combination of his contract is coming up. We don't really want to pay all the money that Masai Ujiri, is going to go get. And the team also hasn't been very good for a lot of years, so we kind of have a reason to move on. The team wasn't very good, and I think there are reasons for it. And I think Masai made some mistakes, right? He held on to OG Anunoby probably too long. Yeah. I'm not sure he should have traded Pascal Siakam. I think the way they kind of alienated him made it seem like they wanted to trade him, but then kind of brought him back for the season, didn't trade him, didn't get a whole lot of value for him compared to the quality of player he is when they could have just offered him the max extension. If you still have Pascal Siakam now instead of Brandon Ingram, I don't know, maybe you're doing all right. But we don't have to relitigate all of that necessarily, but you had the Fred VanVleet thing where I think they wanted to keep Fred. They didn't really read the market super well. They weren't expecting the Rockets to come out of nowhere with the max offer they gave him, and they didn't want to go that far. There was the Jakob Poeltl trade, which was not good and continues to not be good for the Raptors. And Masai was part of, the reporting came out even today that he was very much involved in the extension, even though the extension for Poeltl came after he left. That was in the works before Masai was gone.
Yeah, this poison pill weird contract that looks really bad now.
But I think all of those mistakes came from a pretty justifiable place, which was we have all these dudes who are homegrown. Yeah. We have built this team from guys we've drafted, and these guys, most of them, won a freaking championship for us. We want to make this work. We want to win with Fred VanVleet and OG Anunoby and Pascal Siakam. And then when the Raptors got gifted Scotty Barnes 4th overall after their Tampa tank season, it kind of broke their brains a little bit because they're like, wow, this guy's incredible. He kind of does a lot of the same things a lot of our guys do. Yeah. There's already this sort of dynamic where Scotty wins Rookie of the Year. He kind of wants to be the guy. It's very clear. He kind of butt heads with Fred VanVleet over that because Fred VanVleet, a proud guy, also wanted to be the guy, wanted to get paid, as he ultimately did. And, the fit with OG and Pascal, while they kind of massaged it by the end, was never perfect or ideal. And the way the contracts were lining up, it was just a weird timeline situation. But it was all from wanting to make it work with his guys. And if there is one thing that Masai Ujiri is, it is loyal to his guys. Minus DeMar DeRozan. But he also but he did give DeMar a lot of runway too. He could have moved DeMar after playoff failures previously. When they eventually moved on, it was because Kawhi Leonard was available. It was too good an opportunity to pass up for what they ended up giving up. And they had just kind of come to the end of the road with that team. And it really was we're a year away from probably having to rebuild this whole thing if we don't make a trade like this.
The teardown from a championship team is never clean either. I mean, you look at over the course of history, the Mavs and the next year tore that one down. Everyone was mad. Look at the Warriors right now; they're tearing down from them.
I think it was really just wanting to be loyal to his guys, and it kind of bit him. And I think he'll probably learn from that. And he's a pretty cutthroat guy too, right? I think he asked DeMar DeRozan, who learned he was getting traded in a Jack in the Box parking lot, 2 days after getting told he wasn't getting traded.
That was his first mistake, was going to Jack in the Box.
I've never been, but maybe we can stop while I'm down in America.
No.
But no,
get a jug of milk.
I think he made mistakes, certainly. I'm just moving on. No one else is going to understand that.
Canada has bags. Their milk comes in bags.
It does come in bags. It's pretty cool stuff. Don't get the bags. They're stupid and wasteful. Bad plastic. Where were we? Yeah, it came from a place
the bags. Why? So it comes in a bag. How do you pour it? You cut the corner?
You cut the corner, you put it in a jug, and you pour it.
Does it have a cap?
No. You can get a little clip for it. It's very stupid. Don't drink bagged milk. It's one of the
clip.
worst things we've done.
Bag clip.
Yeah, it's one of the worst things that we've done as a country.
And the others?
I mean, not compared to this one.
All we do is produce, and they're all over the place.
Crazy. Masai, a guy who wanted to make it work with his dudes, and it just kind of bit him in the butt. And
the loyalty factor.
Like, again, you can get mad at it. I think he certainly did things wrong and cost himself, but I think, again, justifiable considering what they had done with the guys they were trying to make it work with.
At the end, were Raptors fans upset he was gone? Were they like, yeah, glad he's gone because of the mistakes?
I think there was a mix. Like, I think most people were upset, and I think it's not just that you missed the basketball decision maker, right?
Yeah.
I think it was you missed the guy who built the culture. And this, again, it goes so far beyond just the Raptors themselves. He was instrumental in like grassroots women's basketball, programs around. And he's doing it right now with the Tempo. They have like a women's coaches training program that he is overseeing. That's amazing. He had Giants of Africa, which was just this like massive annual charity gala, and it was just like a beautiful thing that he did to kind of expand the reach of the Raptors globally, of basketball globally. Obviously, his Basketball Without Borders, all this stuff. Like, he's just like a really impressive dude, and having that guy as the head of your franchise gives you a certain level of credibility. And maybe some of the reporting suggests that people got sick of dealing with him because he's kind of a bully in trade negotiations and very stubborn and all of that. I get it, but like having that guy as the figurehead of your franchise, it's a really, again, it just makes you instantly more credible. It puts you, if you walk into the room with that guy in the front, it's like, oh, this guy's here. Okay, like we got to pay attention.
Yeah, the Jason Kidd and him relationship is going to be fascinating to watch over the next year or so.
You said over the last year?
Over the next year or so.
Of his time with the team?
We got a question on the text line.
Yeah.
Link in the description, QR code for the text line. We'll send you every rumor that we hear. We'll give you all kinds of stuff as we go to the Combine. We got a question that said, Masai looks like a guy that smells good. How does he smell good?
Can't confirm. I mean, again, I don't know how you get to a position like that and not smell good. How could you be that wealthy and not smell?
You could pick a bad cologne.
This guy was one of the highest paid executives in all of basketball. You don't buy the bad colognes if you're that well paid.
Well,
you buy the
it could
bad
smell good to
colognes.
you and not smell good to like another person.
You have focus groups or something, probably.
You think Masai has a cologne focus group?
Wouldn't put it past him. The man thinks about everything. He's a planner.
Focus group just for his cologne.
Yeah,
that's not just like you walk up to your friends like, hey, you think this smells good?
What do you think like the sort of assistant GM is for on the Raptors?
He's paying people $40
What do you think Bobby Webster's been doing all this time?
That whole relationship when he left with Bobby Webster, he gave it to him, or did the Raptors decide Bobby Webster was the GM because he's in charge now?
Like Masai and Bobby, I think on good terms. I think ultimately Bobby. I think he made his pitch to MLSE as to why he should be the guy. And also, I think, MLSE is pretty, and if you could read some of the stuff about the Toronto Maple Leafs, the team they own, and the way they're cutting corners and the way they're kind of being very cheap of late. And
are they cutting mascots like the Blazers are?
I hope not, because the Raptors have like a dozen mascots, and I need them all. I need the giant inflatable Raptor. I need the little inflatable Raptor. I need stripes. I need the Raptor. I need them all. Don't take any away, MLSE, please. But no, I think Bobby Webster's probably got the job because they did a search and said, well, he's the guy we have, and it's probably the cheapest to keep him. So
yeah, right.
And look, they made the playoffs, and I think Bobby Webster is a good executive himself. He's a very good drafter, things like that. Was instrumental to the Kawhi trade, actually. And so that's probably why. But yeah, I'm not sure how the dynamic really sits. Like, everyone says they're on good terms. Who knows how it actually is? Right. But yeah, like MLSE is weird, and that's kind of why we're in this position.
Great stuff. Go follow Sean Woodley wherever you're listening or watching this. And Locked On Raptors. Good stuff happening all the time over there. Subscribe. Links in the description for different ways to follow the show, including the text line. Guys, thanks for listening to Locked On Mavs. Peace out. Boom!